Do you think success comes from hard work or luck?
There is no substitute to hard work for sure, because what hard work is that you're giving luck a chance, you're giving luck a higher probability. Right? So but having said that, a lot of people work hard. Luck is that trigger moment, which not all hardworking people tend to get. So I would say that hard work is necessary, but if you keep on working hard, trying more enough, I think you increase the probability of luck shining on you. But that's how I will see that sometimes, because there are trigger moments, and I think trigger moments happen to some people early, and some people just make sure that they keep on trying, and then finally they happen for them. So there is a role of luck for sure. But I would say that it is, if you keep on focused, you keep working on it, you keep on believing it, it has to happen.
Hi, and welcome to Indian Explorers. In this podcast, we talk about Indian success stories. I am Sabrina, and together with my co host Amit, we will get to understand the journey of our guests and what drives them. The optimism, patience, idealism, and courage are their attributes which we want to bring to life in these conversations with them. If you enjoy the show, please hit the subscribe button and share it with others. Hello, how are you?
Sabrina, how you doing? I got a full house. How are you?
Doing well. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I got my sister from London. It's her 50th birthday today. And I got
Yeah.
mom and dad from Spain. And they're heading to Argentina tomorrow for the weekend, and then Brazil for some waterfalls. So good
Um,
for them.
yeah, that's great.
But before that, Sabrina, I had a proud moment an hour before this podcast. I was
Okay.
play fighting with my two sons, and just basic fighting. And it's the first time that Gotham, the 8-year-old, hit me, and it actually hurt me. So he hit me so hard. He hit me so hard. He broke my
Oh
glasses.
my
So yeah, it was he was a bit scared, thinking I was going to shout at him and like be upset. But I gave him a high five, and I was like, you know what, Gotham, that was the first good punch
Because you've
that
always
you've
said
given
he's
me.
the more timid one of the boys, right? And he's the
Yeah,
oldest.
normally he used to like slap, and I was like, no,
Uh-huh.
like, punch. And
Yeah.
I didn't think he would, but he actually punched, and he broke the glasses. Like,
Well,
it's the
this
only
time
pair
you're
I have.
proud.
So
This time you're proud. Next
yeah,
time
I
you're
was proud.
gonna, yeah, next time you're not gonna be
Yeah,
proud.
yeah, yeah, that's true. By the way, speaking of Argentina, that the family is going to tomorrow, did you hear what happened in that country? What the finance minister just announced last week?
I did not, and I'm scared you're gonna ask me some questions to
No,
guess.
this is staggering, Sabrina. This is staggering because I know you have a tax business that you run. So the
Mm-hmm.
finance minister, Sergio Massa, um, just announced that 99% of the labor force is going to be without the need to pay income tax. They're eliminating income tax overnight in Argentina. Um, for anybody who earns less than 5,000 US dollars a month, which happens to be 99% of the labor force.
Wow. That
Can you
low?
imagine if that happened in America? Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Under
sure.
$5,000 a month is 99% of the labor force.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's staggering.
Well, I
So
think it's a good thing
it's a
you're not
political
taxing
move.
them when they make so little already.
Yeah, but think about it, Sabrina. You need the money. The governments need the money for all the social infrastructure, for the poor people, for the
How much
roads, for
are
everything.
they making
So
when off of $5,000?
I'm not sure, but I think it's a saving to the Argentinians of close to $5 billion a year.
Okay. I'm okay
Now,
with that.
now, now, there's a the finance minister is actually I'm not okay with it. The finance minister is part of the presidential race, and the
Mm-hmm.
elections are, I don't know if it's November or December. So
Okay.
if he doesn't win, the new president in December can actually like basically
Bring the
cancel
tax.
this income
Yeah.
tax. Say, yeah. Now
Okay.
Argentina is actually negotiating with the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, for a $44 billion loan. And
Okay.
the IMF is like, dude, you want money from us, and you've just eliminated $5 billion from your own
Five.
people. You already have, Sabrina, the inflation is like 124%. They already have the highest inflation rate outside of Africa, and they're doing
Mm-hmm.
this. I mean, it's actually, from any economic perspective, it's just
Yeah.
ludicrous move.
It does put more money in the pockets of the Argentinians, though, to spend, don't you think?
Sure, I understand the multiplier effect, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I think it's just crazy. I think it's a crazy move. Every economist has said it's a joke. And for a
Mm-hmm.
country that already has high inflation, they're going to print more money out now to
Yeah.
do whatever the
Yeah.
government needs to do. When you print more money, what happens? Inflation goes up. So it's just a spiral effect. The currency is already worthless. It's depreciated against the dollar so much. My family's going to have Malu's going just for shopping. I mean, they're going to have the time of their lives with how cheap things
Yeah.
are in Argentina.
Sure. I think they should
Anyway, I thought it was interesting.
I think they should see what happens in the US and get rid of income tax for a year. I think people would rejoice and everyone
Not
would
going to
get
happen.
along. No, it would never happen.
Even if Republicans do win the next election, which looks like Trump is going to beat Biden, I think eliminating taxes in America is just not going to happen, Sabrina. Keep dreaming.
Have you noticed they don't
Do you
even
remember?
like acknowledge those political comments anymore?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Do you remember? Do you remember in the last election or the one before that, there was that guy called Andrew Yang, the
Yeah,
Yang Gang. Do you remember him?
yeah, yeah,
So he came up, he was the one who was talking about UBI, Universal Basic Income. His policy was anybody over 18 years old is going to be deposited $1,000 a month. So basically $12,000 a year given by the government to every adult in America. What do you think of that,
that would
Sabrina?
never pass Congress. It would never pass Congress at all.
Anyway, he didn't win, but he got a lot of people supporting him, mainly because of UBI. Because if you think about it, $1,000 a month means the 30 million people that live today in America under poverty or in shelter homes or
Yeah,
who can't afford basic medication, that will be covered with $1,000 a month. Now,
yeah,
obviously, is the argument that you're disincentivizing people to work. People are going to spend that money on tobacco and alcohol, or in
or
America's case,
shopping.
on Wegovy and Ozempic, on fat ways. So I don't know. I think these are crazy policies, but they're not mine to make. I just thought it was
Yeah,
interesting.
very interesting. Um, I'm looking
See what
forward to
happens.
learning more about today's guest. Are you? Will you know him?
Me too. I consider him a friend. Maybe he doesn't consider me a friend, but I've been in touch with him for the last 2 decades, and I did some projects with him in India. I really like the guy, so yeah, let's bring him on.
Let's get to it. Today we have an e-commerce guru, Samarjeet Singh. He's fondly known as Samar. He is the CEO and chairman at Iksula, an retail strategy and consulting company that helps e-commerce firms set up and run their online retail business. Iksula employs over 1,000 full-time staff, has clients in all 5 continents, 4 clients being top 10 global e-commerce companies. He has a knack and passion for founding and starting ventures, Iksula being his third startup. He was part of the leadership team of Baazee.com, which was later purchased by eBay. And he has been honored as one of the 50 best digital marketing professionals at the Mobile and Digital Media Marketing Summit and Outstanding Contribution to Retail by the Indian Retail Awards. Welcome, Samar. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks, Sabrina. It's a pleasure to have this conversation with you and Amit.
Yes,
Samar, how
absolutely.
you doing, buddy?
I'm
Good to
doing
see
great,
you.
Amit. Thanks to talking to you, especially after meeting you very recently in Mumbai.
Yeah, well, I think we should give Sabrina the background on how you and I met. Um, Sabrina, I in India, after finishing our real estate commercial development projects, decided on the crazy idea of starting a gifting website. And I knew Samar had started his own gifting website and now was doing e-commerce consultancy and website development. So I went with Samar, and he did a great job. But I honestly failed within 6 months. And then that's when I decided to come to Chile. Maybe Samar, you can tell me what you recall about GiftER.
Yeah. I think I remember meeting Amit at a real estate property which he had created in Mumbai, which was just next to my home. So I could proudly tell my friends that I know a person who built this building. And from there, the conversation started to he telling me that he's building gift jar. I shared a lot of stories around how we built Tajonline and Taj Gifts, and it was a great experience building that entire tech stack for Amit. Rest is history, which Amit knows better than I do.
Sure.
So let's start at the beginning. You're studying, and then you're done studying, and Taj Online was your first startup. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, Sabrina.
Tell us
Uh,
about it.
So how did
yeah,
that
okay.
idea? Yeah, how did that idea come about?
Okay, I've studied all in India. I was born in a small town in Bhopal, finished all my schooling, my engineering, and then a B school in a lovely city in India called Goa. And then I moved out of the college, and I had started a first business with few of my seniors. And I'm taking a little background before I come to Tajline. I'll not take more than 20 seconds. We and it was the best experience on my life because that is the business which we made sure went to the ground in 1 year. So the it was a fantastic start where you out of the college, you've taken not taken a campus placement which was with a really large MNC, and you fought with your parents to join a small startup, and you very proudly take it to ground in 1.5 years, and everything happened amongst partners. There was friction, there was cash issue, investors had issues. So fantastic learning. And that's when I met a friend of mine who got into internet, and he said, "Summer, why don't you uh, read a book by Tim Berners-Lee?" And that and then I started exploring internet, thinking about internet. And Amit and Sabrina, I read a very interesting statement by Tim Berners-Lee, and he said that internet would lead to democratization of the world. And I'm talking about this way back in 99 and 2000 beginning. And this line just
I think Jeff Bezos read the same book.
Yes, and then it left a tremendous amount of impact on me. So I've always been a person who's been trying to do saying everybody should work, that there should be a more bigger meaning to working. Obviously, you do good work, you will make money, which will ease up your life, but there should be an impact also. And this line stayed with me. I spoke to my friend who had given this book, and he said, "Oh, this is a great medium which is coming up." The same year, the Time magazine gave internet as the because it was a millennial year. So they came up with an edition called Millennial Edition, which is a Time magazine 100-year edition, and the story they gave internet as the invention of the century. It was a cover story, and I felt that, oh, if I have to make a career, I should do something around this. And then I asked
So this was 2000?
this was 1999, 2000 beginning. The edition came in January. So February onwards,
Yeah.
I said that now I'm going to work in this space. So that's the time that friend made me introduced to the team which was founding Touch Online. And I was 23 and a half year old, young rookie. And these two gentlemen were senior, a gentleman and a lady. And they said that we have come out with this idea. Vineet was in the US, Charu was in India, and said, "Why don't you come with us?" And I was the youngest and the smallest among the three shareholders. But I said, and can you imagine, Amit? This is after we had taken a company to the ground. There was debt on my head, not too much, a little bit. So I negotiated a structure saying, at least I need to pay this amount of money. Can we figure out a way? Da, da, da. They said yes, and I got into Tajonline. For this is the beautiful part of doing this. And then the Tajonline was a gifting business for all the Indian diaspora living all across the world to gift within India. I mean, the interesting challenge was India had internet issues. So India's internet was slow, lease lines were tough to get. The whole telecom boom had not happened by that period of time. So we realized that the best way to make a business happen is that if you go down to the diaspora, because they have a good quality internet access and their connect with the country is pretty high. So why not set up a business which allows them? So we started with Taj Gifts. Then we realized that remittance is a big thing in terms of small thing. We started a company called Taj Cash. Then we realized that I don't know if you remember that era. People used to call by using telecom cards. So we started Taj Telecom. And then we realized that the Indians who had migrated used to miss the basic products. So then we started tajgrocery.com, all the four brands. So Vineet was in the US, me and Charu were in India. We were the people who was setting up the back end. He was the one who was setting up the front end, and that's how the business came up. We reached a turnover of $1 million in the 16th month, annual run rate.
Wow.
It happened very, very
In,
fast.
in 1 month.
No, in 16 months. 16 months, sorry.
In 16 months. But in that 1 month alone, you did $1 million turnover.
No. Totally on a run rate of, on the 16th month, we were on an annual
On a run rate.
On an annual run rate.
Got it.
$1 million.
And your parents then became proud of you, or they still were pissed off that you decided to do these startups?
Amit, my father still doesn't understand what I do. When somebody asks him,
Yeah.
what do I do? He has noted down our websites and he gives them the names of those websites and say, you guys figure it out what he does. So
But
that's
your
a
father
story.
must know Jeff Bezos. Tell him you're Jeff
Yeah,
Bezos copy. Jeff Bezos of India.
yeah. So he himself is an engineer, but I think it's just an engineer, mechanical engineer from a different age. But he broadly knows what I do, but not in great depth as to what what this business
Yeah.
does.
Samar,
And
when I was 22, I left Credit Suisse First Boston, an investment banker. I had just taken a couple companies public, and I joined Sabrina's home in Miami, where they had a garage. And her brother and I, for 6 months, drafted up a business plan and a business presentation. And it took me 1.5 years to raise funding. For that 1.5 years, my parents were pissed, really upset with me. And honestly, I wouldn't change that roller coaster of a ride for anything in the world.
Yeah.
But it's an experience I think every entrepreneur should go through.
Yeah, but I think from a support, if your question was from a support from a parent's perspective, my dad said that don't worry, if you have issues, come home. Home is always there for you, and I'm always there for you. So that was extremely.
My dad never said that to me.
That was very comforting. He said, "It's your home. You have a room. You have food on the table. Don't worry about that. Rest you will take care of."
So to tell you a little bit about our background, my husband and I are both attorneys, and we stopped practicing. We moved to the border of Mexico and we became entrepreneurs. We started with cell phones, and my parents probably were thinking the same thing, like, you've left all this education, this job in Washington DC, and you're opening a cell phone store along the border, you know? But now
what a
my
brown
mom
thing to do.
Yeah, they're like, why are you doing what we did, you know? And so now my mom loves that we do this podcast. She's like, I'm so proud of you. And I said, well, anyone could do this, but she's like, no, I'm so proud of you. So I think it's a generational thing.
Yeah.
So Samar, let's go after Tajonline and the Taj 4 group company. What happened to it? And tell us how you moved from that to Baazee.
Actually,
and
very
what
interesting.
Baazee is.
Uh, I mean, the Tajonline is a very interesting story, and I'll take you through it. So that time, the whole, if you're familiar with these words, portal boom was happening, which is a super app today.
Yes,
So you had
Yahoo.
Rediff coming with IPO. Yahoo was already there. AOL was big in the US, and so a lot of people started making the same thing for India. But the again, the internet issue pushed them to create that same websites for the Indian diaspora across the world. So there was a big company called Chai Time, which was getting set up, which was started by a woman entrepreneur called Bhana Grover, and they raised a humongous amount of capital through eVentures, which was a Star TV supported James Murdoch fund, and they wanted a channel for shopping for the diaspora because that was audience that offering was
Okay.
missing. So they offered us to.
So
Uh,
Chai Time was the portal.
Chai Time was a portal competing with Rediff. Uh,
Okay, like yahoo.com with a shopping channel.
yeah,
Okay, got it.
and rediff.com, the whole sifi.com, ind, ya.com. So these were all portals focused on the Indian diaspora. So we quickly, they offered us I think a value of close to around $2 million at that period of time, and all cash deal. We ended up exiting and becoming part of Chatham. Very interestingly, Amit, the
Nice.
Chai Time, and then the whole .com crash happened, and every company which couldn't raise the next round just went down. The crash happened, and that the same thing
Is this
happened.
08? What
This is
year?
this is 2001 beginning to mid.
Oh,
Which,
okay, that crash, the
that's
early
right.
crash.
This is your garage crash, right, Amita?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
it's a
correct.
garage crash. So the
Ouch,
same
Sabrina,
time,
ouch.
Sorry.
that was a big
I
one.
was trying to be gentle about that.
That was a big crash, and we sold the company 3 months before the crash, and the Chai Time actually also shut down, and we ended up buying the company again back. Uh, it was a dollar sale. They gave the company back to us,
Reverse takeover.
reverse takeover, and we took back the company. I didn't continue, I mean, because that's the time I was getting married, and my wife did not want to shift to Mumbai. And I surely wanted to get
Where
to.
was she from?
She was from a city called Indore, and she
Indore.
said that let's not live in Mumbai, let's live in a this thing. And I really wanted to get married to her, so I said, once we bought it back, we said no, I don't want to take the next plunge into it, and I took a break of a year. So that's how the Tajonline thing. Then that company got built again and again got sold in 2007 to some other buyer. So that's a very interesting
But
Wow.
thing.
Samar, if you live in Indore, surely you want to go to a city like Bombay, right? It's like living in San Antonio and going to New York or LA.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a plus, a better move?
Actually, Tanzir was born and brought up in Indore and smaller towns. So there's a big fear in the minds that in a big city you have to take public transport. It's a big city. You can't travel too
Got it.
much by yourself. And
You
she
like
had.
the slower life.
So she said, let's take a easier life, and I also wanted, I think, a change. So it became both mutual, and we decided. I took a break. I stayed. We decided to stay in Chennai out of all the places, and took up a house on the beach and stayed there for the first year of our wedding. I did a consulting here and there, but nothing fruitful.
You thought you retired.
No, it was. I think it was just fun, right? You were so young and you have some money in the pocket, so you end up
Yeah.
doing things which you think are cool enough. That's what we did, and within a
The
year.
Sabrina and I never been young and rich. We never went through that phase.
No, your definition of rich is very different from mine. So we had little money. We
We'll
said,
talk about that later on as well.
let's jump. And within a year,
Okay.
I mean, ours was an family made us meet, so we got to know each other pretty well. And then now we decided we were okay, and that's the time Baazee was getting set up. Uh, And I had nearly 1.5 to 2 years of experience running an e-commerce venture, and there are hardly people who had 2 years of experience running e-commerce ventures at that period of time.
In
So
India
both
at that time. Sure.
Avi and Suvir, the founders of Baazee, put up a phone on me. They said, "Why not get together?" And I asked Tanzir, "There is a call from Mumbai again." She was okay this time, and we came. The Baazee initial days, it was fun building that business together with Avnish Suvir and the whole leadership team. It was one of the smartest. It was the so Avi was involved in the public IPO of eBay, and that's where
Okay.
he was working for I forget, either it was Morgan Stanley or the other big investment banker. Sorry for that. And he
Goldman
moved.
Sachs, one of the big boys.
He was working for Goldman Sachs. You got the name right. And he did the IPO, and he got the idea saying that why not do this in India, and that's how the whole origination happened. We were like exact business, which eBay was in the US, auction formats, all different kinds of formats for products. And I was given the
Was it a
mandate.
copy? Or was it local Indian flavor?
No, there was a lot of Indian flavor. India, as you know, is very different, and obviously from a per capita to the way customers behave. So a lot of customization in that respect. They we customized that part of the business there, and I was given the responsibility to lead the whole retail side of the business. So there was an auction format and a fixed price format. Fixed price was called retail, and we were competing with Sifi.com, Rediff.com, Namaste.com. These were big businesses in that space, and so we had a target to beat all of them in terms of revenue in next 18 months, which we 18 to 24 months, which we ended up doing. And 2004 June, eBay came in and bought over Baazee.
Took over. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Samar, we need to
Fantastic.
explain to Sabrina what COD is.
Okay.
COD in e-commerce terms. Because in
So
America, she has no clue what it is. Can you explain it to her?
yeah, so actually, Sabrina, this is an invention which happened in India. Because in developing economies, there is a trust deficit around paying the money before you get the product in hand. And there was a credit card penetration issue also, both. So now, if you have
Very
less,
low.
a very, very low credit card penetration, and the UPI, etc., innovation has happened very later. So, how do you now convince customers to buy? So, India invented a concept called cash on delivery, which is you send the product. When once the product has been taken over by the customer, he or she gives it cash to the delivery boy, and then you collect the money and get back to the to the seller.
Wow.
till
Sabrina,
That would
it
never,
was
yeah.
incredible.
till 5 to 6
And
You're paying a courier guy cash.
what was the rate? Like, what was the loss rate on that? I mean,
It was super
in the,
efficient.
when you say loss rate
wow,
in terms of how many people didn't pay,
correct.
yeah.
Like percentage of,
So COD was around 75% people pay, 25% people will send it back in the initial days, which later, by putting some mechanisms of verifying a customer, went up to 90%. But now it is very different. With the invent of UPI
yeah.
and every part of
So,
it, now the prepaid orders, as we call it. So in India, it's called prepaid. The prepaid orders where you paid by credit card is must be around, now it's 50% plus across the websites. 50%
okay.
plus.
So
Speaking of,
COD, they
yeah,
do it here, but for, big purchases like wholesale purchases and things like that, but not one product coming to your home and then you pay cash. Like
Eh,
that's funny.
till,
Yeah.
till like 2014, I remember the numbers. It was still 80-85% of all the transactions COD.
Sabrina, another thing of India. What percentage do you think of Indians pay income tax? I love asking Sabrina these guesses because
Yes.
she normally
So,
gets them off by like
A
100%.
lot.
and
Let Sabrina answer this one.
Sabrina, the question
Is
is,
there an income tax
how
there?
many people file for the
No, there
taxes?
is income tax.
There is income
Yeah.
tax.
Okay.
Not
How
who
many?
files income tax, who
What percentage?
pays. What percentage of Indians
Oh,
pay
what
income tax in
percentage,
India?
please? I'll say
Percentage of the population.
5%.
Not bad, Sabrina. Half of that, but not bad.
Okay, okay.
Not
I'm
bad.
not off today.
I thought you were going to say like 50% or something, but it's
No.
basically 2%. But
Okay.
25, 30 million people pay out of 1.2 billion.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the people who file taxes between 7.5 to 8%. So rest on, so 6% are
Okay.
nearly broadly nil. They file for the taxes, but because of the rebates, the tax is nil.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Sabrina,
Got it.
about 45% of the people are under 21 and they're students,
Oh
right?
wow.
So they're
That's a
not paying.
yeah.
And then I
Gotcha.
think about 50 or 60% of the professions are farmers, and
Yes.
farmers are
Yeah.
exempt as well. So let's put that in perspective as well. Yeah. Imagine
Wonderful.
when that 2% becomes 25%, what an engine and how much money the Indian government's going to have. I
Correct.
think we'll be beating America's economy by then.
Yes. 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 We are sitting on a real giant about to unleash itself.
Yeah. Sorry, we're skipping, we're
To
jumping from
ask,
summer to India. Sorry, Samar.
I wanted to ask you about eBay University. So eBay comes in, buys Baazee.com, and then you become the dean of eBay University. Tell me about that. Like, tell me about the university and
Actually,
who were the students.
so the biggest challenge, Sabrina, we faced when we wanted to grow the eBay business was the assumption was that once you get supply on board, the demand will happen. So that was the hypothesis or the assumption of the business. And for supply to happen, you need to teach or educate the traditional businessmen to a new way of doing business called online retail, right? So we created a full university for making a businessman learn about what does it take to sell online, uh, because they had no habit of taking a picture of the product, writing a content, figuring out a price, auction versus fixed price. Once the order comes in, the COD collection will take this much of. This was absolutely a new universe for them. So we co-created a concept, created a university called eBay University. I was appointed as the dean for it, and we went to the government. We say that we'll create this much of business for small and medium businesses. So the government also supported us by giving a lot of help, subsidies, infrastructure to train such people. And you'll be amazed. We used to train. This was a course which took them between 80 hours to 100 hours of going through multiple sections of this course. We used to train between 5,000 to 6,000 merchants a month, uh, and which finally led to a huge amount of supply increase on eBay. And once the supply came in, and because assortment and open market creates price dynamics, which is very valuable for the customers, then the remaining part was to win customers' trust on the e-retail side of the medium, which took some more time before the whole marketplace started gathering traction.
But how
Very
do you do
neat.
that?
Very,
This was pre-Zoom. How do you teach 5,000 people at the
Oh,
same per month?
so, I mean, we used to have a daily session across the country in multiple places. So we created train the trainer. Then the trainers became trainers for other people. We got sellers
So all
involved.
physical,
All
in
physical,
person.
and
Wow.
all in the hubs of where the supply would be. For example, it would be Jodhpur, it would be Jaipur, it would be Tripur. So Tripur was a t-shirt hub. Muradabad was a
Where all
brass,
the sellers. Sure.
where the sellers
Yeah.
sellers cohorts were. We started doing it. It was fun. It was so empowering to see 800,000 people sitting at one place going through this lecture patiently with the trainers. So I used to start the whole session by first getting them into it, and then the trainers came in, and we used to do it very execution
You were the
oriented.
Steve Jobs.
I don't know what
You were
was
the
it.
Steve Jobs and Tim Cook.
Yeah,
You do the
but
first 5 minutes and then you pass it on to the team.
It was very very empowering because very small people coming from small cities will say that we were struggling with intermediaries who were taking all our margins away. Now you're given an opportunity to directly talk to the customer, and those stories were very very empowering.
That's awesome.
And then obviously if they made money they stayed on the platform. Otherwise we had a challenge of getting them back.
Got it. So you have just exited the Taj, then you exited Baazee with eBay,
Yes.
and then how did Iksula, your group company, how did that come about? And is Iksula today the largest e-commerce group in India in e-commerce space? Tell us a little bit about Iksula.
Okay. So this was nearly 2006 end, because the whole we had a lock-in period with eBay to do our transition to eBay team. eBay asked me to move to the US, as they were wanted to offer me a good role, but somehow I was pretty
Your
clear that
wife, your wife said no way.
uh, I actually got her sister was in the US at that time, only sister, and we
Yeah,
went there, and she saw that she's not going to get any home helps, and her mood changed. So she said,
it's a big thing.
you know that this is very very Indian to say, or very Indian Southeast Asian diaspora kind of a thing to say. But she said, no, I can't imagine a life without help. And that her part apart, I think I was also clear that I felt that the bigger opportunity was in India, as a professional, and second, as a family, I wanted to be close, very close to the family.
Yeah,
Then the decision was very clear, and I mean, since these were the constraints, and the capability was 6 to 7 years of deep expertise in e-commerce, so then I had two
in
options
India.
in India. So one option was, I mean, to take the competence of marketplace and set up a e-retail or a e-marketplace business, because that's what I knew. And the other one was that use this knowledge to set up some kind of a services or a software-led business on the other side, which is a B2B side of it or B2C side of it. I took a call saying, and I genuinely felt by data and numbers that India was not ready for another. For a retail business to be sustainable by itself over a 2 3 year period, a lot of challenges were still remaining, from COD to trust deficits to internet penetration. People don't realize that entire e-commerce success is owed to the democratization of internet in terms of such reasonable internet which came post geo. uh,
But Flipkart was already there and already chugging along before Amazon came in. You didn't want to become another Flipkart, or Flipkart was after?
no so we've Flipkart was starting 2008, 7, 8, 9 onwards, but
Oh, okay. I thought it was before.
but the real traction for them started happening post 2013, 14 onwards, right? And we
Sure.
felt that this was this was a tough journey, or maybe it was I mean, because we faced such a tough time trying to set up and scale the business. Market is not ready, that I then decided, no, let's not go this side. The second incentive, Amit, was that both Tajonline and Baazee were invested ventures, and so I had gained experience in how to run it. So I said that now let me do a bootstrap kind of a business. You can say it was not a opportunity driven call; it was a self experience driven call to say, okay, let's build this business from scratch. And so then that's how the choice went to saying, let's set up a business for services. Plus we were in India, we knew that we have talent this side and the opportunity lies in the west. That's how we said, okay, we will be the e-retail solution provider of choice for global
Okay.
aspirant e-retail businesses. So whether they are retailers trying to go online, whether existing e-retailers, examples of the gift are the way you set it up, or a CPG brand
Yeah.
company going online, or global marketplaces. So we have three customer sites today, till today also, and we knew what their value chain is, what they need, what is the best thing to do. So we said that any business which can understand customers' problem, which is these three customer sites, would have a very good chance of succeeding, and especially if the business is located in the talent hub like India. So that was the fundamental call, and with the personal preference of trying to set up a business from the scratch. And we then took a call. So I mean, the entire Iksula business is set up on an investment of 500,000 rupees.
5 lakh.
5 lakh rupees, you can call it, or 500,000 rupees. That's it.
Yeah, got it.
and this
Wow.
year we should be doing we should be doing we're trying to do a few acquisitions. If we put those together, we should be doing between 18 to 20 million dollars.
Fantastic.
So in
Wow.
crores, we should be at 140 crores.
How did Wayfair.com become your first client?
So a very interesting story, Sabrina. There is an exhibition in the
The
US.
furniture brand.
Yes, yes, the biggest.
Wayfair, the furniture brand. Yeah.
Yes,
It's everything, like you want, for example, I put a search the other day. I wanted new cabinet handles, wayfair.com. You
Yeah.
want new pillows, wayfair.com. It pops up. It's the first one that always pops up.
yes,
The American IKEA.
yeah, and completely online. So actually, Wayfair was founded by Neeraj and Steve, and Neeraj is a second generation Indian who his father moved to the US, and he had set up two software services companies, software tech companies before this, and they saw an opportunity in this space. The company used to be called CSN Stores before, where N stands for Neeraj, S stands for Steve, and I'm forgetting what C stood for. And they were a
I like the new name more.
and then they rebranded themselves in last 7 8 years back to Wayfair. So we had actually Sabrina, we decided that whatever extra capital we have from whatever small business we had built up, we should straight away go to the US market and start focusing there, because that's the largest market. So we started participating in trade shows. So we were standing at a trade show called Internet Retailer. It's called IRC, which happens every year
The big one.
we put up a booth.
Yeah.
The Wayfair VP came to our booth and said, "What do you do?" He asked about my background, my partner's background. Both of us were standing there, and he said, "Pretty impressive. This is what we want to do. Can you do it?" We said, "We don't do it, but what you're saying, we understand." He's saying, "Can you put the understanding on a presentation?" We said, 100% sure. And then also tell us that how will you make it happen. We explained it, and it took 2 days to do that. We did that presentation in the US. I remember me and DJ were both awake the whole night, and we put it together and sent it to them. Within 4 days, we got a message from them that we are coming back. We are coming to see you in India. They came and they decided, and it became the largest customer for us for longest period of time. Now we have Home Depot, Site Fund, Walmart, and many many more customers. But if you ask us, we really owe our success to Wayfair. To trust us at that period of time. It's all thanks to them.
So, Samar, it looks like you had your first venture, which was that 1 year failure, which took to the ground, and then after that, you've just been running in gold, like hit after hit after hit.
Yes.
What does success mean to you, Samar? We ask all our guests that question.
I think Amit, I think with age, the reason and the meaning has changed for sure. So let me be true and honest to
Today,
my.
what is
Uh,
success today for you?
I think slowly, Amit, it has. I think success to me is freedom. I would say freedom, because it allows me to do things which I think is valuable or impactful. It's without success, neither you have the capital, neither you have the reputation, neither you have the resources to do anything even more meaningful, more impactful. So I would say success has given me more and more freedom and liberty to do more and more of more impactful work. That's the way I see it.
So freedom of time and money.
time and money both, and resources, and I think most important, reputation of it. There's a brand, Samar, and there's a brand Iksula, which helps me to put up, open a few doors to go across. Even if you have a stupid idea, some people do listen to you, and some good quality people do listen to you and give you a chance to express that point. And
That that's how we feel about this podcast.
So I saw your website, and to me, it was like a personal website about you, bold and simple,
yes,
right? And you have all these quotes on the one of the pages, and I wanted to read one quote. I really loved it. If I say I will try, you will surely try, and if you say I will make it happen, you will surely make it happen.
yes,
And it made me think. Well, first, tell me what made you think what you
But
think
it's a
about that,
podcast
and
or a website, Sabrina?
so it's a website, and then it has information about your podcast, correct?
yes. So, Sabrina, actually,
Yes.
this website I have uh, put up uh, just a month back, which I was sharing with Amit, and I'll tell you a quick. So, I feel that the story of classical entrepreneurs is not getting told today. The ones who really put their blood, sweat, took large risks and made things happen. So, my endeavor is to get those people to talk about their success, because my story is pretty similar, and that's the podcast part of it. But I also use this, and that's why it's called bold and simple. So my realization is these people are really bold, and I think one of the most common quality they carry is that they're all very, very simple. Simple in terms of the way they think, how simply they approach things, and that's why bold and simple. And hashtag BS is the way. And so when you're coming to the musings, the quotes, I felt that I've always found one-liners or putting things in short quotes or summary as also finding simplifying thoughts in your mind, and that's why I started writing them. And then I used to do it on Facebook before, or on Twitter, and hashtag BS. Everybody used to ask what does BS mean, and I
Yeah.
just kept on doing it. I kept on doing it for like 8, 9, 10 years, and then just one day went to the timeline and picked up all of them and put it on this website. in specific
That's
to
great.
in specific to what you asked about that quote, uh,
That
uh, I think I personally feel what you mentally visualize is what you end up doing. So if you try, you will always say that I tried, and if you say to yourself that you will make it happen, you will make it happen. It's as simple as that.
so it made me think that this quote, it made me think about hard work versus luck, which keeps coming up in some episodes now. Do you think success comes from hard work or luck,
I think
or a combination?
I would say there is no substitute to hard work for sure, because what hard work is that you're giving luck a chance, you're giving luck a higher probability, right? So, but having
I
said
agree
that,
with you.
a lot of people work hard. Luck is that trigger moment, which not all hardworking people tend to get. So I would say that
Yeah.
hard work is necessary, but if you keep on working hard, trying more enough, I think you increase the probability of luck shining on you. But that's how I will see that sometimes, because there are trigger moments, and I think trigger moments happen to some people early, and some people just make sure that they keep on trying, and then finally they happen for them. So there is a load of luck for sure. But I would say that it is, if you keep on focus, you keep working on it, you keep on believing it, it has to happen. It has
Yeah.
to happen for
Good
you.
answer. Samar,
I like that.
this bold and simple, maybe put a small N in between the B and the S so people don't confuse it with bullshit. Just a suggestion. And other thing,
I like
if you
doing
want,
this.
Actually,
no,
Amit,
just
it
a
was
small N, because
It
otherwise I
gets
saw
people
BS.
talking.
actually,
Yeah, but the people are going to say bullshit.
Amit, it was initially the website was planned as bullshit and more. And that's why it was hashtag BS. And I got a feedback that some people will be little not sure of associating with this. So uh, then we figured out that the aim was in this direction, and we rebranded it as Bold and Simple.
Our podcast, Indian Explorers, I and E, right? So for us, the I is inspiration and the E is entertain.
Ah,
So
lovely.
similar, your podcast has the B and the S. Also, we give you permission, we give you the rights to put this episode onto your podcast. Maybe you bring us some more viewers.
I was about to ask that would you give me the permission or not? Thank you.
Oh, yes.
We give you more than the permission. We'll pay you. We'll pay you to post it on your podcast.
Thank you.
Oh God. All right. Sources of inspiration. Who do you look up to? Do you look up to any Indian, like a Tata, Mukesh Ambani, or are you more of an Elon Musk, Warren Buffett? Like, who are your sources of inspiration? If you can share some of them.
I think Amit, from being trying to be a firstly being a good human being, my dad. I think I really thank him for whatever he did, and the way he raised us, my dad and my mom. But I would say dad. And I hope my mom doesn't mind it, but my dad. If from that perspective, because I think at a core, if your core is right, it's a great blessing for any human being, and I think parents have a very big role there, and so my dad. From a business perspective, I think Amit, it was more the new age. So Narayan Murthy, that age we started hearing his stories. We started hear about Azim Premji on the Wipro side of it, and then once the 2000s came, we started listening about Ajit Balakrishnan, set up Rediff. Unfortunately, the company is not doing well today, but a very inspirational leadership in terms of the way they dealt with business. And then once we started having more exposure to the global success, I would say Steve Jobs, and then Elon Musk. Whatever hands I could get on what they have read or heard, I think it's just the kind of inspirational work they do is extremely inspiring. If you say that
Well,
somebody,
Elon tweets 10 times a day, Samar. You just
uh,
have to follow X for all of Elon's BS, I would say.
yes, and I think I love him for the courage. Courage, the boldness he displays in the belief he has.
Yeah,
Beliefs can be wrong, but believing in your belief is is a rare thing nowadays, and
yeah,
I
it's
really,
admirable.
I really, really value him for that. And I think the amount of, and I think there is another side of it which is bravado, which a lot of people don't like. But I think eccentricity comes with every genius, right? So you can leave the eccentricity and take the genius out of a genius, right?
Yeah. But Samar, what do Indians really think of Americans? Like Donald Trump, Elon Musk, do they admire Americans for their guts, the companies they've built? Or do they think Americans are just loud, brash, arrogant? What do Indians really think of Americans?
I mean, I'll take the analogy from the statement you made around income tax. So first, I will say the understanding of the top 1 to 2% of Indian is very different from the remaining 98%. Is my reading of it. So the remaining 98% see America as a land of dreams, and Americans as people who have really contributed to humans going forward through technology, through progress, economics, and they see it in that light only. If you have to put it very broadly, it's a land of opportunity. It's a land of if you ask their
The
aspiration,
American dream is still alive.
is still
The
alive
American dream is alive for the Indians. Yeah,
for them, because their awareness is not at the their awareness is at a little high, very
yeah.
surface level. uh, I think the remaining 2% see the US innovators in a very, very good light. They believe that there's a lot to learn. They see American innovation, success of America in a great light, but they're a little unsure about the culture and that
Political.
the and especially today's new situation which is happening around the politics.
We're unsure of our own culture right now,
Yeah,
so I can imagine what the whole world thinks, you know?
correct. And I think
Are you following Vivek Ramaswamy, Samar?
yes, I do. I really I think it's an interesting guy.
Interesting guy.
Yeah,
Sabrina, I'm trying everything to get him to insult America, and he's not falling on my trap.
No, he's too nice.
yeah.
He's
He's
such a
got
nice
it.
guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Samar, I was hoping you'd say something controversial in this hour.
Let me say
Help me
that
out, brother.
you're asking me to do that. Uh, I think if you have to say one thing uh, which Amit, I have been to all 52 states in the US, so that's all of them, right?
Wow.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
All 50
Wow.
states?
all of them, right? So whatever statement I'll make is from the experience of this. Uh, I think the culture is just too politically correct.
Too politically?
Correct.
Correct.
Correct. And so it feels like that you're not seeing a person in totality, right? And
Okay.
this is a view of an Indian where we cross the boundaries with our people we know very, very fast. So
How did you see all 50 states? Was it like this is something I want to do,
no, 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 no.
or
It
you were
was
there for business?
business and travel both. So business took me to a lot of
Wow.
the states, and remaining I covered during my travels here and there, family, friends, and all.
Favorite state that you visited was which?
Interesting. New England.
Yeah. I went to law school in New Hampshire, and I mean it's absolutely beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I would say
beautiful. Okay. So, okay, you're also an avid sports fan,
yes.
cricket, hockey, and you said physical health is one of the key tenets of life, and you're also a big believer in mental health. So, tell me about your passion for physical health and mental health.
So, Sabina, I come from a family of sportsmen. My dad represented Punjab in hockey. Didn't make it to the circuits in India, so he was always playing. He had a small injury, so he shifted to badminton. And as a toddler, I used to go see when he was playing. I ended up entering the academy. I ended up playing nationals. I played the same batch as Gopi Chand, who ended up becoming All England champion. Same batch. I played for Madhya Pradesh. He played for Andhra Pradesh at that time, now Telangana. So very active sports career, uh, and um, that took me for a long period of time. Used to play cricket, a little bit of all of that, but the prime sport was badminton. Today, my prime sport is tennis. For the last 5 years, I'm playing very active tennis. Um, I at least play 5 to 6 times a week, if not more, all the days of the week. Uh, to your question on, since I used to love sports, I've followed sports across, seen a lot of World Cups. Lovely sports should be integral part of everybody's life, is my view. Sport,
We
Sabrina,
agree.
uh, to me, uh, from a physical health perspective, I think I have seen tremendous benefits of sports. I think people just don't, and especially once you're getting on the other side of the age, you realize that with newer medicines and the newer structure, you're going to, if all goes well, you will slowly touch 80. And I'm realizing that the kind of ailments people are picking up in their early 40s or late 30s, you can't be unhealthy half of your life, right? Is my learning. So whether it's sports or it's fitness, I think somebody should, if somebody can come to know that you can't be unhealthy and be on medicines for half of your
Yeah.
life, right? That was one
And it affects your mental health.
which
Not
uh,
having, being unhealthy physically will inevitably affect your
you,
mental health.
because you start looking at the possibility of the next phase in a little
Mhm.
dimmer way, right? It's not the possibility you looked at your life when you were 20, right? Because that time you don't even think about health, right? But and I'm realizing globally, as soon as people are getting closer to 40s, people who are especially not paying attention to their sports, physical activity, and especially food, the remaining part of the life is not so great, and so that's a realization when once I touched 40. But I was lucky enough to be inculcated with habits of playing sports, and I love sports. It's really part of my life, fitness and sports, part of it. On a philosophical level, and I'll get to mental health. Um, I mean, I've learned is that uh, academics doesn't teach you to fail, uh, because you hardly fail in
In
a.
India.
I don't know. I mean, because I've only studied in India, so my perspective is limited to that.
Okay.
Because I mean, and if you're an okay student, you don't fail in a subject, right? You don't fail in a class, or you don't get a D very often, right? You don't get an F very often. In India, it is you don't get 33 out of 100 very often, right? So you will see majority of the top 5%, which is where we deal mostly, have no experience of failing, because I passed with 70%, I passed with 90%, and that's how it happens. I think sports, you lose, you win every day. And I personally think I owe a lot of my ability to take risk and fail to sports, because learned it very at a very early age that it's okay to fail. It's very okay to fail. You fail every day, and I realized it later that this I sports has given me this, because started seeing other people, that how they were reacting to failure versus I was reacting to failure, and then I say, what's the difference? Well, sports and the fitness angle and physical health side of it, I did mention that I genuinely feel that it changes your life. On the second front, so
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think the same. 100%.
uh,
Mhm.
and on the mental health, I realized that let me put it this way, that if you don't sort yourself out, the life will sort you, right? Is the way I saw it. And it takes a lot of effort to invest time in going inside you and figuring out that why you're doing some stupid stuff, or why you're doing whatever you're doing. And I've realized that it's extremely helpful, because you're able to simplify what you think about. You are able to simplify your priorities, helps you with it, really helps you with your family life, your professional life, and you figure out these are the four things which are important for me, why I'm here, how can I contribute to in whatever I do, in a very very small way, to the
Yeah.
world, and I found it extremely beneficial to whatever little way I've been able to do that for myself. So I won't say that I've figured this out, but I'm on the I'm on a path, and I'm very sure till I die, I'll be on the path to sort myself out.
How old are you, Summer?
I'm 50 now.
Summer, how old are you?
I'm
You're
50.
50.
Yeah.
Wow, you look good for 50.
And thanks to
My
sports.
sister just turned 50 today.
Oh, happy birthday to her.
Yeah, she's here with us. So tonight we have a big party for her.
Yeah.
Okay, I think time-wise, we need to move on to the rapid fire. Sabrina,
Sure.
do you want to start with rapid fire questions? Summer,
Sure.
just whatever comes first in your mind. Keep it short, the answer, please.
Sure.
When you think of the word successful, who's the first person that comes to your mind?
Other than me,
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Mm,
Good one.
good one.
What is something that you believe in that other people call you crazy for?
Why is more important than what and how?
Why
Repeat
is
that
more
for me.
important? Yeah, why is more important?
Why of anything is more important than what and how?
And what and
Oh,
how?
okay.
People,
Okay. I
people
like that.
always say that why
I like
every
that.
time you have to get into that direction. So they find me crazy then.
That's a good question. Why?
It's my fundamental thought.
Okay.
I
Is
always
there,
focus on trying to figure out why.
I like
Yeah.
that. Is there a book that you've given most as a gift to people?
Sapiens.
Sapiens. Okay.
It's
I'll
deep.
need to look that
It's
up.
too big,
Uh,
but
I've
it's
read it.
interesting.
I've
Yeah.
read it two, three times.
Okay. What is your favorite, on a lighthearted? What is your favorite documentary, movie, Netflix show, etc.?
Okay. On the lighter side, or generally also,
No, in general, what is the last show you binge watched and you thought this was
I mean,
great TV?
I really loved Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Okay.
Really loved it.
That was good. I watched a few episodes.
I've not seen it.
It's
Black
really,
Mirror.
really, really, really deep. Very, really fun.
Sabrina?
There's a new show right now about Uber, the start of Uber. And we just watched the first episode, was really good. So
I
I
saw
like
this.
the We
we'll see what.
Crash. I like the Adam Newman one, the WeWork,
Yeah,
the
that one was good as
story.
well.
I saw the
Yeah.
one
Okay.
on the Spotify one. It was good enough. Good one.
Yeah,
Oh, I haven't.
Netflix.
Uh,
I'll have
Very
to
good.
watch that one.
I didn't like the ending though, but yeah, it's a good show.
it is interesting.
Okay. What purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life?
Tennis
So
racket.
not a car or a house.
Tennis racket.
Tennis racket.
Ah, good one. Okay.
All right. Last one. Um, what obsession do you have at the moment? Something that keeps your mind ticking, keeps you up at night, whether it's AI or what obsesses you today?
I personally think the world needs to find an answer to growing income inequality. I think a
Income
lot
inequality.
about it, and I'm making a statement about lack of. I'm not focusing on business. Obviously, you keep on thinking the whole day, but this is a problem. I think it's a very complex problem, and uh, I find it very interesting if some we can find a beautiful way to solve it.
Yeah, very good.
It's definitely the reason why I live in Chile, and the gap between the rich and the poor. It's not like in India where you have Ambani and Attila, and next to him there's a slum.
Correct.
That in Chile doesn't work. Over here, the amount of crime and petty theft that goes on, and the social unrest we had a couple of years ago was because of the income inequality. So, it's a serious problem worldwide, and it's a reason why we have political mess worldwide today. So it's a good one. It's a really good one. Sabrina, anything else to add?
No, I've really enjoyed this conversation. I love how passionate and deep you are. And I love your website, the BS one, because it's anything but BS to me. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I would say that your podcast is going to be successful, but then after the run you've had on e-commerce, it seems like anything you do is just going
Yes.
upwards like a rocket.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Samar. I actually feel like we're friends for the amount of times we've met and helped each other out. And I know you're going to do really well with whatever you do. And I hope to come back to India soon and actually play tennis with you. So
Please,
see you
anytime. I
soon. Thank you for doing this podcast with us.
would love to do that. Thanks, Sabrina. Thanks, Amit.
Thank you. So nice meeting you. And, keep doing what you're doing. I think you're revolutionizing e-commerce, and like I look forward to seeing what else you do next. But thank you, everyone. This has been another episode of Indian Explorers. And, if you enjoyed what you heard, which I'm sure you did, please subscribe and share it with others. Thank you.